Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. When we last left off, we investigated the scene of our dearly beloved Kyoko's untimely demise, followed by explosion, and then then she was reincarnated like the Jesus Christ figure that she is, and now everything is fine. And honestly, I'm not entirely certain why we're still here, but we're going to go into this trial and find out who did it. Who did what? I'm not entirely certain, but they did it. So we'll find it. And we'll find them. Yeah. And they will probably die a gruesome death.
With a basic explanation of the class trial. So,
Some
your
chicks
votes
way
will
too
determine
literally.
the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
Sorry, I just remembered what the quote is. It's, oh, you've redecorated. I don't like it.
Okay,
Bonus points if you
I'll
get
leave
the reference.
rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Oh, Hero, I love you. You're the best, man. You're the best.
Like Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
He has
Well,
legs.
that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Oh, shut up, Baka. This is hilarious.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
What?
Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Yeah, Fireball, you got it. Doctor Who reference.
Traits?
50th anniversary. Brilliant, brilliant one. One important trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her. Kyoko's piercing glare. Her gloves.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
I can.
And would you
Ooh,
happen
ooh,
to know
I
the
can.
answer?
Actually, he does as well.
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Indeed.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Are we seriously proving that
I'm not
Kyoko isn't a
convinced.
ghost right
the
now?
ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that corpse was Kyoko, obviously. But if I can't prove why, we're going to be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to... Seriously, we're going to all this trouble to prove that Kyoko isn't a ghost. What? Blonde haired... tattoo in the right hand, explode body analysis, fake nails. Tattoo in the right hand would probably...
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Nope.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Fake nails, probably. Okay.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Yep, fake nails.
Okay,
And how do I
prove
fast
it.
forward?
They
It
got
is this.
burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope.
No, that's wrong.
She was reincarnated blonde-haired girl, high school girl that dressed in red.
No, There's
bodysuit.
no way the corpse was wearing gloves.
Okay, so the first debate is literally
Whoever it
proving that
was,
Kyoko's
they
dead
were
was
wearing
standing right in
fake
front of them.
nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like
I mean,
that
it's hilarious,
would've
so
been
I'm
a
not
pretty
complaining.
big pain.
But yeah,
Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Hmm.
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Shut up, hero.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Yeah.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
And it would also be
Then that's
completely
The
pointless.
dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Yeah, for once I'm on Baka's side.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
Big brain moment last case.
That's the
Sacrifice
first
case,
thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
By big brain moment, do you mean the part where you fixed the TV? Coco, truth or dare, are you dead? Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Okay. Well, we know who it is. Sprinklers, explode body analysis. Tattoo on the right hand seems like a safe bet. Alright.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
Hmm.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Okay, I think, if we can't identify the body,
If Kyoko
put the
really
tattoo on that one.
There's gotta be some... I don't think so.
Should be about
And
right.
there wasn't any Well, if we can't identify
Oh,
the
shit.
body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Damn it. I missed. How do you do the whole
Kyoko
bullet time
really
thing?
is
Oh, it's
still
there.
alive.
Okay.
Then who died?
There's gotta be some... I don't think so.
The
So,
face was
pop, pop.
Scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Oh, I
Then
missed
there's nothing
again.
else we can do, right?
Ah. Trying to be
Kyoko
too
really-
fast.
Who died?
There's gotta be some... I don't think so. And there wasn't any description. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Hey, there you go.
No, that's wrong.
Finally. Break.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Jeez, Taco, tone it down, would ya?
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No,
Jeez.
that's not it. The
Richard,
identity
trigger
of the
finger.
victim is hidden within that
Yeah, a
tattoo.
little bit, yeah.
Oh, really?
What do we say for real? Okay, where is the... Yeah, it should be this, yeah? Yeah.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is a wolf. Seriously? I couldn't just say, yeah, he's a mythological wolf. Okay. I wonder what it could be. Whee! Well, that was
Now I
easy.
understand.
Why is this the easiest case so far? Except for me missing because I suck.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man,
All true.
after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
It did take a while.
Then that
Me and
means...
Squad on their way to get some
Exactly.
tattoos.
The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir.
Not must have,
So
but
it must have been Mukuro.
yeah.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
She wasn't.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first
Yeah,
place.
in fact, it was Kyoko who said that, which is a bit odd. Funny how little Taco used
After
her
all, looking at her
writer title
profile,
in this game.
I didn't see anything that
Yeah,
would fit such a
yeah,
description.
she's more like the ultimate pervert, honestly.
All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier.
What does she even have it on? Yeah.
If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
Indeed.
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she
The ultimate
wasn't an
horny.
important character?
And that's what this school is.
Which
I
would
figured it
mean
out.
She was the same as us.
I figured it out.
Just
This
another
entire
participant.
school is horny jail. Just for Taco. That's what this is all about. She got bonked and sent to horny jail. And now we're all her wardens. Or maybe we're all just horny as well. Oh! It explains so much. It explains so much. Particularly Celeste and Hifumi. Their little thing. Same as us, just another
Then
participant.
who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
Very true.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to ignore all such attempts at provocation.
Or would
Now
cut
then,
back his head
just
and
so
personality
nobody's
of the regular one.
confused, let me state this one more time for the record.
I think you
The
mean
reason
Taco's
we're
horny
having a
heaven.
class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place.
I would rather
Hammer
not.
that point straight into your big ol' brains.
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
To be fair, he's not wrong.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Yeah. This is a very odd case.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Yeah. Based on what we know, there can only be two suspects. Kodo and Kyoko. Taco and Genocide Jack. As much as I'd like that.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
I mean, if
Allow
the
me
mastermind
to
is in
explain.
the school, wouldn't that make 17
Just
people?
after nighttime
That's
last
true.
night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden.
This rule.
However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
Yeah, so the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Ooh.
Are you thinking
What
of
is
raising
this?
an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
What time was the body discovered? At 9 o'clock.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Thanks. Get me something while you're going. A pack of Skittles would be nice. Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01. Does Taco play Minecraft?
He's right. It had to be around then.
I guess.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened
That's a bit of an
sometime
off-putting.
between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
That is true.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay then, it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. Well, I'm afraid I have bad news. I'm actually probably going to prove the exact opposite. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Wait, hang on. Hang on. What? The tarp was wet.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
There's something that happens in the garden at the same time every morning. Thinking back, the corpse is almost totally dry. In which case, I should figure out when the body must have appeared in the garden. Yep.
We've established a time
Okay,
frame for the
it's
murder.
a bit odd though. It's
It
not.
took place somewhere
That
between
tarp
10
is
o'clock at
throwing
night
me off entirely.
And 9 o'clock. Yep. And
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Pop. What? Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that.
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think.
Oh,
So Makoto,
This
if you
is,
have any objections, now would be the time.
exploded body analysis. What's in this? What's in the exploded body analysis exactly? That's throwing me off a little bit. The explosion was bursting upper half of the body beyond recognition. Upper half of the body remained on fire. Upper half was soaking wet while the bottom half remained dry. Okay, so that was part of it. Okay. Being a bit confident. Here in the garden.
We've established
Okay.
a time frame for the murder.
So, body
It took place
remaining
somewhere
dry.
between 10
Got
o'clock at night and 9 o'clock. Yep. And
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
What?
Shoot!
I didn't use the correct thing, yeah? Yeah.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than
10
enough time
o'clock
to commit
to
murder, I
7:30.
should think. So Makoto, if you have...
Okay, I can pause. 10 o'clock to 7:30. 10 o'clock to 7:30. And I have the fragments, the exploded body analysis, and the sprinklers as options. Really, the sprinklers? Well, yeah, I was just thinking that. This time is impossible to change. It can be assumed that if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, it would have gotten wet. 10 o'clock. Stealing either 10 o'clock or 7:30 wouldn't matter at all. The fragments near the body, card debris near the body, it should be noted that the body which had been removed had disappeared. Ah, that's another thing actually. Oh, that's actually a very good point. Yes, yes, I did notice that as well. The bomb was the one that was in Monokuma, so whoever killed them had to have taken the bomb out of Monokuma, but they found the bomb when I was there and I didn't leave them. So yeah, it must have been that. Okay. Oh. I wonder if...
We've established a time frame for the murder.
That makes
took place
sense.
somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
I mean, all three of them make sense.
and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
The game is
Makoto doesn't have
teasing
an alibi
that
for
it's
most
the
of that-
Yeah,
wetness.
from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to work, honestly. It makes sense, but I did not think for a second it was going to work. That's
We've
weird.
established a time frame for the murder.
So I am right. There is only
It
10
took
o'clock
place
at
somewhere between
10
10
o'clock
o'clock
at
at
night.
night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock
Yep.
at night and 9
And
o'clock in the
Makoto doesn't
morning.
have an alibi
10
for most of
o'clock
that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's
10
more than
o'clock.
enough time to commit murder, I should think.
7:30.
So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
10 o'clock to 7:30. I mean, the only thing I can think of is to just do all three of them against the 10 o'clock one.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
All I can think of
Yep.
is
And
that
Makoto
is
doesn't have
just
an alibi for
putting them all against
7:30.
the 10 o'clock
That's
one.
more than enough time to commit murder.
So Makoto, if you have any objections,
Like,
now
nothing
would be...
else. I did,
We've
yeah. That was the
established
first
a
thing I
time
did.
frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at...
There it is.
No, that's wrong.
I don't know why that one worked, but hey, it worked.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
I am not sure it's the right
And
one.
what makes you say that?
I found it.
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold
Except
on.
if there's
I
a
remember
tarp
this
on
part
top
perfectly.
of it.
The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you
Whoa.
spew such indecent words?
Well, that's the first time I've heard that one.
I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the
Meth down
sprinklers.
south. Jeez.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Oh, can you just go back to Jack,
You're
please?
totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why.
I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinkler that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Taco with certain evidence, and that should do it. If we look at the body itself, that should make it clear. Indeed. The moment of truth. Oh shit, it's one of these, okay.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me?
Ah shit. I lost the rhythm.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything!
Okay. Final strike.
How
Exploded
can
body
you say
analysis.
it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it. Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers.
It was on fire. I remember fire.
The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Yeah.
Let's just
kind of nuts,
move
huh?
on. The reason only the top half was wet was because
I threw water on it. I'm still not entirely
while
certain
the
why
body
Baka
was
didn't
still
throw
on
the water
fire,
on it, but hey.
I doused it with water. But only the part on fire.
We
the
poured
top
water
half.
on the body, that's why it's wet. Yeah, pretty much,
Oh,
You were there,
then I
Taco,
guess the
remember?
sprinklers
Actually, no.
really didn't do it.
Actually, to be fair, she was... I think she was kind of unconscious at that time. She was like... She'd been blasted by the thing, and... Yeah. So she probably didn't even know.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Well, I wouldn't throw a party just yet.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Honestly, I'm starting to think that I'm the killer. Kyoko murdered someone?
I'd just like to say one thing.
Sure, hi. How's it going?
If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko?
Not
But you
incorrect.
made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no
Can we
alibi,
vote
well
now?
then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The
Oh, really?
sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
Okay, and this is when the pieces
What
of
are
the
you-
bomb come into play.
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been... Where is it? The tarp.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
Stop with the
You
snitching.
catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
Yeah, that was the fatal flaw in their
But
argument.
why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Hide the time
Most
of death.
likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place.
What the hell does the chicken have to do with anything?
In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Done. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? Because you saying the other stuff made her look like the killer. No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not
That
right.
is, that is
And
true.
what might that be?
It was covered in blood. I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko just said. Make your argument. Exploded body analysis? Body before the explosion.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the
And that's where
sprinkler
it
got
is.
that side wet.
Well, maybe.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
I remember the blood on the body hadn't dried yet. Baka even warned us not to touch it to avoid getting any blood on us. Yeah,
By covering
so
the body, the
maybe
killer
it's the last one.
prevented it from
Maybe it's
getting
like the
wet.
very,
So
very
the
last one.
reason the tarp was is because the sprinkler got that side.
But the underside, it was totally spotless, right?
Eh.
It's because that side was protected from the. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Pop,
No,
why do I have
it's wrong.
16 minutes on the clock? Jeez, this isn't that hard.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
The knife would have made a
Because
tent over it as
the blood
well.
wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right?
Still. But then you'd say
Yakuya
that the
said it
tarp would have
himself.
pushed the blade down even
Not to
further.
touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
Then why didn't they wash both
If
sides?
they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Neats.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
What? Blood was camouflage.
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
Ah, from the nurse's office.
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's
Hey,
office!
Hero had a big brain moment. Good job.
That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
He does learn, ladies and gentlemen. He
No.
does learn.
That's not what happened this time.
Oh. Well, apparently
The
Kyoko
killer
knows
got
better.
the blood from right there in the garden.
Oh, the chicken. They got blood right there in the garden, right? Which must mean they killed the chicken. Man, why'd they kill the chicken?
I got it.
Oh.
Could it have been...
I hope they at least
Chicken
they at
blood?
least ate it afterwards.
Chicken blood?
Chicken tasty. They like chicken.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
That's a
But
lot
after
of
the murder,
chickens.
there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Well, it's still a big brain
I
moment.
wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around.
Hmm.
Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
Well, they could hardly walk around
You
with a
said
dead
the
chicken
culprit
in their
used the
hands
tarp
either.
to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
Pretty sure
But
killing a
that's
chicken
not
would
what
be
we
fairly
saw.
messy business.
Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
But then,
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so.
no, it was backwards.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Yes.
Then that settles it.
Does it really?
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was
That's the
gathering
defense.
up the
Oh
tarp,
yeah, that's true. They could have done that.
they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
I still have my trump card.
If that's actually
And
what
that Kyoko
took
never
place,
even
it certainly becomes
noticed.
possible that the murder happened
Oh.
earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That's also true.
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Yeah, but I have an
Maybe.
alibi from 7:30
still.
onwards.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
I had it
Then
right over
plenty of
there.
time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
It's really not.
I must admit,
The
Kyoko's
gym is very
reasoning
close
is
by.
sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body has been added to truth bullet section of your handbook.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh,
See? Pretty good idea, right?
no, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just
It's like
stand there.
super
Run
serious,
with it.
guys.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
Yeah.
The one
That
we
was the
found
one you
stuck
gave
in
to
the
me.
body before it exploded, right?
And this is the second time somebody's
According
tried
to the
to
Monokuma file, the knife went
set
all
me
the
up
way
as the
through,
murderer.
from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Taco keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
From the
The
gauge,
knife
like,
we found
see,
stuck in
Psycho,
the
my
body
logic killed
came from
Makoto way harder than
Makoto.
your chainsaw I ever could.
Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone, that I'm not the killer. Well, what tools are you going to give me to do that? Is my question. Disguised dead body, exploded body analysis, fragments near the dead body. I'm guessing fragments. Rey Mysterio's
The
the victim.
knife we found lodged
Well,
in
I haven't
the
seen
dead
him
body.
doing any WWE
It's
recently.
the same
although-
one we gave
Okay.
to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
Stab,
What a
stab.
horrible man you are, Makoto.
Oh, wow. Hang on. It was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means when the knife was thrust through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to...
It really is, isn't
So
it?
gave to Makoto.
If he did have that seals
Am I
it.
right?
Just
That's
because
the
I
only-
had that automatic.
Well, getting stabbed is what. So there's no
Oh!
question.
I
You
see.
took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
Disguised dead body.
Horrible man you are, Makoto.
I get it.
The knife we found.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid.
If he did have that knife before, that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife, that automatic.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No,
Nope.
that's
Sorry. What bullets do you have? I have the correct one.
wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That
Indeed.
should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point. Obviously, the stab wound isn't what killed her.
True that.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for anyone to see. I'm guessing Monokuma file? Had been stabbed a single time. Yep.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her.
And there
Exploding
goes
the
a
body
taco.
afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Flying tacos. Great to see.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her.
Oh, I can have a stab in the
It
dark.
was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
Girls actually.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward.
The memes killed her, just like
They
it's
meant for us to
Monsoon
latch
said
onto the
said
knife
they
as the
would.
cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Taco, taco.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but... What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
I can have a. I can give
If
you a
you
little piece
bothered
of
to
evidence
put that
about that.
lump of gray matter between your ears
Oh,
to use,
shit.
you'd know the answer.
That could be spitting.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
I do love
Go
Hero.
ahead,
I love him
Makoto.
so much.
Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Why don't you tell her? There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. Fragments of the dead body. Is there anything else that's specifically? Nope. Okay, fragments of the dead body.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course,
Yeah.
we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted
For all
the
these
knife
questions,
wound to
he
look like the
himself doesn't know
fatal
the answer.
injury
Yeah.
so that we'd
Yeah.
suspect Makoto.
Absolutely.
And the only one who would benefit from that
It's Kyoko.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
I'll just
What's
call
the
him Baka,
problem?
it's easier.
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. I wonder if it was maybe an arrow. Perchance. Perhaps Monokuma file. That's incorrect. I think we're gonna have
Then,
to steal
shall we
something here.
continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
I
Well,
guess.
Yeah, she was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Knife was a cover-up, and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh, yeah. Which only leaves...
Then,
Hang on a sec. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. Other wounds... Like, shit, I have no idea what the answer could be. It's still on perfect title, so I'm just gonna ask the idiot Makoto about it. Make it look like I know the answer. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Stabbed a single time with a knife. Maybe I need to steal the knife?
the victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that...
And it wasn't because of them.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. And more than that, the victim had suffered countless
Knife
wounds
bunk,
across her entire
countless
body.
wounds. Fresh, which only leaves the bunk
shall
or
we
the
continue
countless
the debate?
wounds.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
she was...
And it wasn't because of the knife. Then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that,
I don't think that's
the
right.
victim had suffered countless wounds across her
Oh, shit.
entire body.
I think I need to... Yeah, I remember that I need to absorb them. But
Then
none of
shall we
them
continue the
are
debate? The
sticking
victim's
out to me
fatal
either.
injury has yet to...
The explosion didn't
Best
kill
I
her
can
for
figure
sure.
out is the bunk on the head.
And it wasn't because of them. There's only one other.
Oh yeah.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
There's an option. Yeah.
Then shall we continue the debate?
I'm
The
gonna
victim's
try
fatal
doing
injury
this.
has yet to be determined.
Okay,
No,
that works.
it's wrong.
Cool. I mean, I know what happened. She was bonked on the head, and then she was pierced with the arrow.
died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
Oh,
The
no, probably
Monokuma
not.
file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Jeez. Hero, do you ever
Then we're safe in
finish
assuming the
reading
blow
a
to the back of
sentence?
her head is
Or do you
what
just
killed
only
her.
go halfway through?
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
Why use the pickaxe? Why not use a shovel?
Way. The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any
I like how
kind of
Taco
power.
knows so much about this.
I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks.
I mean, if you want to-
hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
Seriously, is she an M or is she an S?
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
What the hell are
We
you
want
two
to figure
talking
out
about?
what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
Do we?
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
I mean, the only
So
thing
what
I have
was
is
it?
the arrows.
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon.
Again, Baka's like, I don't actually know, but Makoto knows, yeah. The real murder weapon. I mean... Yeah, it's the arrows, yeah?
I got it!
Yes.
Yukaro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her.
Yes.
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Oh. That's not as thick as a metal pipe, though.
That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back
I wonder if this
talking
game has a
anything.
bad ending.
I'm just saying what I think.
Because I think if I pinned this all on Kyoko, I'd probably get a bad ending. But, I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. The fact that it pierced all the way through. Yes. Hey, you're right. Bloody duct tape, wood block key, titanium arrows. Taco is a middle. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that.
Titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
Yeah. Bloody duct tape? They have to get the bad ending now. Yeah, probably. If it was just that titanium arrow, it wouldn't be nearly thick enough. Which is why they used...
The
Oh, they used
titanium
duct
arrow.
tape to...
It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Oh, I think I missed that.
Back to
Why
Master!
bloody duct tape, mate?
You have no right!
Yeah, I
The
really feel like
titanium,
I'm
it was in
missing
the
something
dojo. I
here.
have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound.
This is way too straightforward.
It said the weapon must have been about as... It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No,
This just seems
wrong.
way too straightforward.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Multiple arrows, I guess, is what he's going with.
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape.
Well, it wasn't my idea,
The
but
killer probably uses
I guess
duct
that's an
tape to
interesting
bind
way of doing
multiple
it.
arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Hey, Taco actually knows a thing or two.
Damn, that's
a thing or
harsh.
two.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
I like how she doesn't
Anyway,
stutter when
that
she's actually saying
explains the murder
something
As
intelligent.
for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely
Okay, of
have.
arrows.
How can you say that with such
For a pretty girl.
confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Oh,
Yeah.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all, remember?
of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Really hope Taco knows anything about books. She doesn't seem like the type to read much. True. Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. It must be connected to that dojo locker. I don't like how this is going. I really don't.
I got it!
This
The
is
one
making me
thing that
feel not
proves
so
Kyoko
good.
was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb.
That does seem very
That
convenient,
key is
doesn't it?
just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just... there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
Hey, if the killer wins, I win. Did I say that out loud?
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
Aww. She was protecting me. Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Oh. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
You have the key to her room. But she did just say that she had a key that opens every room in the place. In the school. Psycho Kodo, I just enjoy watching you sleep, not creepy. When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Wait, Kyoko gave her room key to Baka, right? Which would mean... Okay,
Those
so
words
I
you
guess I
just
need to
spoke.
steal
I'm
that,
not
like,
the key,
second to
should
last one.
Master would never...
There's proof that you... Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But
Kyoko's just
could
tucking
I
Mikoto
really
in
have
bed.
done that?
Yeah. Okay.
Those words you just...
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
Alright.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No.
Okay, well that was correct. But she just admitted that she has access to every room in the
If
school.
I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Huh? Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in.
Okay, well this is the tangled web of lies, mystery, deceit, and murder that we will get back to in the next episode. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment, favorite, all that stuff. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time.